Hi everyone, today I'm reviewing the BMW X6, the new one. I'm here at a BMW driving day, so this is going to be a short review, not the more detailed one that we normally do. This is the 30D in M Sport, guys, and I'm going to take it out now for an hour's run to see how I get on with it. So actually a quick walk around before I take it for a drive. Notice the grille on this, massive of course, as they all are, the BMW kidney grills. But this one has a little bit of a kink in it, as you can see. So they've tried to give it that sort of signature BMW shark nose effect. So it's got a little bit of a twist, turn back, a kink back on it. So it makes it quite distinctive, and I think it stands it out apart from the X5. So this one, of course, has got the fastback look on the back there, you know, the way that it's styled. Quite an aggressive looking car from the front spoiler, bumper, spoiler, the air vents that it has, which, you know, not all of them are real, I don't think. But massive wheels, as you can imagine. What are they? We're on P0 tires, Pirellis, and we are talking about 275/40 R21 inch. Look at the scoop here. That's quite interesting, the way they've done that. It's I don't know if that's real. No, I think it's blocked off, but it is a very interesting look about it, that's for sure. As you can see, picks up a lot of gunge, which of course can be an issue when you're getting in and out of it. You know, so watch your trousers when you do that. The back is quite nice. It's got this sort of extra lip spoiler at the top of the tailgate, and then another spoiler here. I guess it's part of the M Sport package, just to keep the airflow clean. And then the back of it is very distinctive. So it's got a kind of a pinched edge here, and very slimline rear tail lights. There's the xDrive 30D badge on it. But yeah, a little bit of a departure from the old one. Quite bulbous, if you like, but at the same time twin exhaust outlets there, kind of a diffuser arrangement, but at the same time a pinched and modern and very, very different, so quite nice. Let's see if we can open the boot. There we go. And what the boot is like, well, quite spacious. So, oh, I see, so that lifts up rather than rolls back. I suppose you could remove it, and decent amount of space, actually a huge amount of space, pretty good actually. And I suppose if you wanted to fold the seats down, you'd have quite van-like proportions of space back here. Underneath here you have, oh, even more room, and actually that stays up, so that's quite good, isn't it? Can you see that? There you go. So you can see that that's actually standing up on a hydraulic strut by itself, and it gives you quite a deep pocket here as well. So actually quite a good bit of room back here, and of course you've got the toolkit and all the rest of it. First aid kit is over there. Let's try the back of this car, and yeah, no issues at all. You would think that with that sloping roof, you know, it's 6'2", and this seat is set for me, this driving seat, you'd think I might have an issue, but not at all. I got plenty of room. Look at that. I could wear, you know, an even bigger hat if I wanted to. There's quite a high belt line to it, so you do feel like you're sitting low in the car because the glass area is quite small back here. So, you know, if you have any sense of claustrophobia, you might want to just check it before you get into it, or go and buy one, or your passengers, if they make sure they don't have any issue with it. So back here we've got a door pocket, lots of room for my feet to wiggle around, plenty of knee room, my own AC controls here, individual, so this is a 4-zone climate control in here, plus heated seats as well. A little tray down there, and we've got power supply, no USBs. Over here we have an armrest, and in the armrest we've got 2 cup holders and a little pockety type thing. So let's put that back in, and of course, you know, Isofix, Chelsea, anchor points, all plush and very nice back here, but as you'd expect, very good. It's bright and sunny outside, but it's warm and toasty in here in the BMW X6 xDrive 30D M Sport. That's what I'm in. This car base price cost around £65,000, £65,575 actually, for this car. It's in mineral white with the black merino full leather interior. Yeah, it's very nice as well, and actually it's really, really nicely done. I do like the way this sort of crystalline gear knob has been done here. It's got very little movement. It's just basically a lever there that just sort of moves around on this little pivot here. But you know, the crystalline touch is carried through into the iDrive controller, even into the start button. So it's quite a nice look. Massive screen here, massive screen here. That's all digital. That's digital. I got map route on there, map route on there. This car, do they give you any performance figures? 265 brake horsepower, and that's pretty much all they give you actually. 265 brake horsepower. Yeah, that's it. They don't tell you the performance figures on this. I'll have to look those up and put them up on the screen, so that's not a problem. Anyway, so we have a short time with the car because we're here on the BMW driving day. Sorry, I think the sun is looking really awkward because this is really bright today, even though it's only 2 degrees outside. And so we're just gonna take it for a drive and see how it feels. Of course, it's a very, very comfortable car in here, very practical, large, but you know, not unwieldy. I've been driving on these quite tiny B roads and it hasn't been a problem. The diesel, I mean, it sounds really good for a diesel. It's deep, it's thrummy, runs out of revs quickly, so basically anything about 3.5 is not worth it. You know, change well before 4,000 RPM. It's in, what mode is it in at the moment? Let's put it into comfort. Let's start off in comfort. And you know, the steering lights up immediately. I can feel that straight away. The steering lights up, the suspension just kind of quietens down a little bit, and the whole car just seems to quieten down actually, and just sort of calm itself a little bit. I'm sitting quite high up in this car. There's no question about that you're sitting in a tall SUV. It's got a camera button here, which is quite handy because for situations like this, because you can press the camera button and straight away you can see where the edges are when the car is coming the other way and stuff like that. I've got a fantastic heads-up display, which even if I use the rotary knob here, gives me all the channels, the all color. It's a full color display. It's in focus. It's very cleverly done. All-round visibility towards the rear, because of course that window is quite small at the back, and then of course you got the C-pillars, but then of course you do have the camera, so it's not really an issue as such. So driving this around town now, soft, easy. You know, you are aware of its size because these are small villages, small roads. You are aware of its size, but it is, you know, reasonably, you know, easy to figure out where its extremities are and what you're doing with it and stuff like that. Once we get out of town, we can open it up a little bit. But so far, I've been driving it around. It's been very smooth. Very quiet, very refined. You know, I mean, you don't get any sense at all that this is a diesel, quite frankly, apart from, I'm sure, you know, less frequent visits to the petrol station. But other than that, you wouldn't really know. It's very, very refined, and like I said, the engine actually sounds quite nice. Except that, you know, the revs are the torque is earlier on, and then after that you're pretty much done. So you need to change up. That's if you're using manual, which I did try earlier because you got paddle shifts on here. But you know, you could just leave it in automatic and let it do itself. Now the driving modes, of course, you do have an adaptive mode as well. So I think that's pretty much, you know, you can leave it in there. You got Eco Pro as well as Comfort. So I haven't had time to go through all of the settings. I'm sure you could personalize those as well. All the buttons here for the iDrive, it's very straightforward, easy to use. It's got the gesture control thing, which I'm not a fan of, honestly, to turn the volume up and down when you've got 2 buttons here. I don't see why you can't just use these, quite frankly. But generally, all the buttons, I mean, you know, I got into this car and I basically drove off in it straight away. And I knew I could do that because I knew that it wouldn't be very confusing to adjust the things the way I wanted and everything. Quite warm and toasty in here. So the heating is very good considering the fact that, you know, it's frosty. When I got into it, it was like 0 degrees outside. And even though the temperature set at 20, but it's perfectly comfortable. Like some cars you have to put up to 22, 23, even 24 to actually get warm. But this car is absolutely fine. Slippery conditions, icy conditions, but I've got 4-wheel drive, so there's a little bit of confidence there that comes with that. It's, you know, for a big car, you can really hustle it along. So let's now go back up into sports mode. So there you go. There is an individual setting and you can configure it as I was saying earlier. Steering is firmed up, and the ride has got a bit choppier, that's for sure. But you know, definitely that's, you know, if you're going into sports mode, it's kind of a given, really, isn't it? So good turn in, good response, surprisingly good acceleration for what it is. Really deals with the road here, the bumpy road here, really quite well. Composed, actually, quite composed. But you know, you are feeling it. You know, you're moving around. It's almost like I want to put it back into to comfort, and you know, but even still go quicker, because it is just much more settled in comfort. It really is. It makes quite a big difference. Actually, yeah. But then the steering does get lighter. So it's one of those things where you'd go into individual and you'd set it up to leave the ride in comfort, and everything else, you know, dynamic. Does follow the ruts around a little bit, just a little bit, but not too bad. You know, it's a meaty, chunky steering. So if you're going into manual now, I mean the changes are imperceptible, but now you can start to hear the engine a little bit. I'm going to hold it in a lower gear. There you go. Quick enough. Quick enough for considering the size it is and where it is and what we're doing and the conditions that we're in. So it's all very good. It's one of those cars, really. It is, you know, it's a family car, right? It's a family car that's pretending to be a sporty SUV, and you know, you got it. You know, who am I to argue? It is a sporty SUV. You know, it does sporty things. Look at that. There you go. I think, you know, it needs to be in sports, really. So I'll put it back in sports, even though the ride is just, you know, quite a bit more bumpier. But we'll put up with that. I'm sure you can, you know. I hope you won't get seasick watching this. But there you go. I mean, for a big car like this, the way that you can just hustle it along on little roads like this is quite impressive. It's a big car. It is a BMW, so it's trying to find that compromise, you know, and that's not an easy compromise to make. You know, you feel that it's in its heart. It's like, yes, I'm a BMW, but in its body and its size and its mass, it's like, yes, but I'm an SUV, and I'm quite a massive SUV at that. So, you know, it does a really good impression of a sports car, but be in no doubt that it's a big old thing. So yeah, so eventually I did actually put it into sport individual, and in that I managed to do like what I would normally do, is keep the dampers or suspension in comfort and everything else in sport, and that did improve things quite a bit, and that would be my preferred setting. So should you get an X6? Well, if it's practicality that you're after, then I think obviously the X5 is the way to go. But if it's style that you're more concerned with in a car that is almost as practical and usable as an X5, then yeah, get the X6. I think it is the more aggressive, stylish and funkier looking SUV of the two. So it's definitely the one to go for, and probably the slightly more engaging to drive as well. So there you go. There's a review of the X6 30D. I hope you enjoyed that. Let us know what you think of the car, the review, me, anything else you'd like to talk about in the comments above below elsewhere, and see you in the next one.